February 17th. Welcome to News 6 Plus and Breakfast with Bridget. I'm Bridget Ellison. It's good to be with you and hope that you're enjoying yourself on this Monday morning, off to a good start. We're going to get you ready to get out the door with weather and traffic. And we have a live interview coming up this morning with Ashley Van from Victory Cup Initiative and their 10th annual storytelling competition that is coming up. So we'll hear more about the exciting prizes up for grabs and how this is really benefiting our local nonprofits. So it's a great organization, and the work that they're doing is really making a difference for our nonprofits. So we'll get to that in a bit. First, though, getting you ready to get out the door. Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos is in the Pinpoint Weather Center talking about some cold fronts, and it's an interesting 7-day this week. Candace, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, a little bit of a roller coaster. We had a decent cold front come through yesterday, brought us a good dose of some rain, brought some gusty winds with it, did impact the Daytona 500, which is something we were expecting. The good news is though, most of us kind of dealt with just a quick snap of that rainy weather, and then things really cleared out nicely. And now we get to reap the benefits of that cold front. So let's take it to the maps to show you what those temperatures are the moment you walk out the door. Now, average wise, we're supposed to be about 53 for our morning lows. So we're right around there, but I'd still say grab the jacket, especially in areas further to the north. Ocala at 48. Right now in the Villages, we're at 50 degrees, but it is certainly going to be a shock to the system. We've been waking up into the 60s and 70s for the last 2 weeks. So this technically marks the coldest start to our February calendar here. Now, when it comes to our highs, notice we're pretty much in the 80s for the majority of it, still running above average. So as of right now, it is the warmest February on record. And I say for now because we're going to start trending much cooler as we kind of wrap up the month. So looking at our highs today, it will be the coolest day of the month so far, as we are going to continue to stay in the 60s pretty much area-wide. But notice it will be a touch cooler in Daytona Beach, New Smyrna. Areas in Volusia County will be tapping into a little bit of cloud cover, which will be holding you guys a little cooler than the rest of Central Florida. Then throughout the rest of the day, we're going to continue to see that east-northeast breeze, keeping things very nice, very comfortable, looking mostly dry. But notice what happens as we head into Wednesday. All of a sudden, our arrows turn bright red, coming in out of the south. We have a lot more cloud cover, bringing in that heat and humidity, all ahead of another approaching cold front. Now, this cold front is going to be a little bit on the soggy side because it's actually originating, or at least the low is originating in the Gulf, and that tends to kind of surge in more moisture than a typical cold front. Before we get to that, though, lows tonight will be down into the low 50s, upper 40s, 41 in Ocala, 53. So our average low for tonight. So again, we're just talking about a touch cooler this evening. As we kind of widen out the view, this is what Wednesday around 6 o'clock could look like. Notice there's going to be a big old blob across Central Florida. Scattered showers, some heavy downpours can't be ruled out. There will be a few isolated thunderstorms also kind of embedded within that line. Once it goes through, notice those temperatures. They're going to be dropping and dropping fast. Notice up through Nashville, Little Rock, temperatures could be in the single digits. We're going to start tapping into some of that cold air. It could be the last big cold outbreak of the season, but enjoy it while we've got it, right? Rain chances along that front, though, will stay elevated up to about a 60 to 80%. This doesn't mean it's going to be a complete washout, but really focused along that boundary. Once the front clears, again, it looks like between February 25th and the 3rd of March, we'll be wrapping up the month below average, well below average across Central Florida. But notice those temperatures, once that front clears by early Thursday morning, we'll be in those 60s during the day, continuing to the weekend as of now. But it looks like the coldest morning for those keeping tabs will be Friday morning with lows down into the 40s. So hopefully you didn't put away the jackets too far back in the closet just yet. We didn't give the all clear. We still have another little chance to enjoy it throughout the week.
Yeah, I went to reach for that little light jacket, and then I said, you know what? I think I need something just a little bit warmer. Just
right? But if we were seeing these temperatures for the last couple of weeks, this would be no big deal, right? We'd all be kind of acclimated. But because it's been so warm, this feels so cold compared to where we technically should be for this time.
Yesterday to me was perfect because it was warm, but then that breeze kept it, comfortable enough to hang out. Yeah. But well,
it was nice.
Not a bad forecast.
Unless you were at the Daytona 500. Yeah.
Well,
If you
yeah,
were at the
that
Daytona
part.
500, you had to be a little more patient.
Yeah, as soon as it started to rain, I was like, well, I'm going home.
Yep, that's exactly.
All right, thank you, Candace. Well, we're going to check
Welcome.
in with Trooper Steve and get a check of your roads and find out what he is up to. Hey there, Steve. Good morning.
Hello, hello. How are you?
How's it going?
It's actually not too bad. This
Okay,
morning was
good.
quite the soup sandwich. I tell you, to start off the morning, we did have that earlier fatal crash that kind of put a damper on things. But for the most part, now we are doing much better. So let's just go straight there, and then we can talk about a few things afterwards. But earlier, we did have that fatal crash at Orange Blossom Trail at Hunters Creek. On a normal day, this would have really messed us up. But it being a holiday in Orange County, hey, roadways weren't too bad. So right now, OBT back open, south of 417, just north of Gatorland here, mostly all residential area, but a big transient traffic through there in Osceola. So just be careful as you're cruising through. This was real weird fatal crash. Driver just sitting at a red light and then was severely impacted from behind from another vehicle, killing him. And both drivers in their mid 50s. So just be careful this morning. 528 running smooth if you're headed out towards the airport. But the biggest delay I'm only finding is a slight one right there in Lake Mary as you're headed westbound by 46A. So part of the routine stuff that we see, but nothing major. The only ones really in school today is going to be Osceola County, so you got to be careful there. You'll see some school buses, but the turnpike looking pretty good. No active construction, but that will resume tonight. So just make sure you're watching out for those lane closures on all our major highways. 44 minutes, Champions Gate to downtown Orlando, which is average, I guess, for a Monday. But Apopka, good morning to you guys. And then your 528 drive time still looking nice. So pretty much if you're coming from 436, 95, east or westbound, any of those still looking good, with a minor crash hanging out at JYP and Whisper Lakes. But yeah, this weekend was fun. A lot of people hanging out for the Daytona 500. Was able to touch and go a little bit with that stuff with some of my buddies out there. Was definitely a fun-filled weekend, but a good, safe weekend for the most
Yeah.
part. So
Well,
no
that's good to
major
hear.
incidents, no major crashes. Everyone looked like they behaved themselves for the most part. Nothing too public got out there, but it was a good time. It was a good time.
Good deal. And, Steve, we talked about it this morning how your favorite car was out there this weekend.
Oh, the beast, man.
The
If there's
beast.
anyone that's obsessed with logistics of a presidential motorcade, it is me. I've gotten to partake in probably hundreds of those, let alone the actual motorcade, but then the planning behind it. It's so crazy. Those to see that those just show up everywhere he goes. If people really knew what actually takes place in its own fleet of Air Force aircraft that bring those things around, it's pretty intense stuff. So I was pretty surprised hearing the little shout out that Trooper Steve's favorite ride. I was like, you dang straight, that's my favorite ride. So
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
a caddy guy.
yeah, and we all learned about it more so from you talking about it. So it's definitely very cool. And like when Crystal showed at the car show, one of those like older models was like actually up for auction. So that was pretty cool.
If I had a couple extra 100,000 sitting around, I'd be driving that to work every single day. So I think it went for like $2 something, and I was like, yeah,
We'll
that's
carpool together.
way out of my range. Yeah, right. But today, if people want to join the stream, I don't know why I do it to myself. I'm gonna, maybe because it's a holiday, so I'm gonna implant myself into I-4 Champions Gate US 27 traffic.
Okay.
Kind of go through some of that eastbound traffic that comes in from out of our area, and then talk about the new plans that are going in place that will hopefully help out east and especially westbound. I think it prevents a lot of us from going to Tampa these days, just driving through there. So join me today, 10 a.m., clickorlando.com.
All right. Still a long way to go with so much of that construction through
Yes.
there. All right. Thanks, Steve. We'll see
See
you
ya.
then. And, speaking of the Daytona 500, this was 2 years in a row winning for William Byron. So it was a big night for him. We talked about President Trump at the race over the weekend. His administration pressed ahead, though, with huge cuts to the federal workforce. Thousands have been told they're being laid off. And reporter Jared Hill explains more about the layoffs and some of the backlash that comes along with this.
Nearly a month back in office, President Donald Trump with a victory lap at Sunday's Daytona 500. Our country is doing well again.
Praise from some in the sold-out crowd as the president and ally Elon Musk continue full throttle in reshaping the federal government.
I think he's doing good things. It's just going to take time.
But steep cuts in the federal workforce are leaving thousands of employees on edge. At least 1,300 people have been laid off at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. More than 1,000 employees cut from the Department of Veterans Affairs. And thousands of probationary workers across multiple departments received termination notices last week. Among them, Chelsea Milburn, a Navy veteran based in Nevada, fired from the Department of Education.
Government reform can be a good thing, but it's not good to take broad sweeping actions that don't take into account people's lives, their performance, or, their service to this country.
California-based former IRS worker Jordan Solis was one of nearly 70,000 to take a voluntary buyout with the promise of full pay and benefits through September.
To treat employees like this and to say, hey, either take this offer now or, potentially get laid off later, that was very disrespectful to most of the federal workforce.
Those job cuts now being challenged in the courts, part of at least 70 lawsuits the Trump administration is already facing. Jared Hill, CBS News.
We've been telling you about how we're hitting the road, and that is this week. And speaking of Ormond Beach, which is where we're going to be on Wednesday, we've been covering several stories out in that area, and one coming to us this morning from News 6 investigator Louis Bolden involving an Ormond Beach man who almost fell victim to a Zelle scheme that you should know about.
It's critical because they're slick and they're fast.
When Wayne Mott posted this ad on the Nextdoor app selling a sectional sofa and coffee table, he says he immediately got a message.
The person in the chat indicated that her husband would be in the area and they were really interested and wanted to pick up the furniture that day.
They exchanged messages through the app and the person offered to pay even before picking it up. They decided to use Zelle, a peer-to-peer money transfer service that's often offered through your bank.
Zelle. Look for it in your banking app.
But then Mott got this email claiming the payment was pending due to an invalid business account. He was asked to send an additional $500 to initiate the transaction, promising a refund once the payment was processed.
Immediately, alarm went off in my head because Zelle is instantaneous.
The crook suggested he call Zelle to verify everything was fine and even provided him a number.
Second alarm.
Instead, Mott went online, found a number for Zelle himself, and they confirmed it was fraud. And so did the email address. Upon closer inspection, it came from teamzellpay1@gmail.com. Clearly not legitimate.
I wanted to do this with you guys because I want people to understand how easy it is to get sucked in.
Remember, don't fall for the scheme, don't get ripped off, but if you do, email me at lbolden@wkmg.com. Getting results, I'm Louis Bolden, News 6.
And we're taking a quick break. We'll be right back with a live interview about the Victory Cup Initiative. Welcome back. This morning, we are happy to have Ashley Van with us, founder of Victory Cup Initiative, as they get ready for their 10th annual Storytelling Showcase Breakfast. Good morning, Ashley.
Good morning.
It's great to have you with us, and this is an amazing thing that has been going on for a while now. 10 years you're celebrating, and so you have 10 nonprofits lined up, and the prizes are big.
Yes, we've been working with the Victory Cup Initiative for the last 10 years, and we've worked with over 90 nonprofit organizations and given away almost $4 million of unrestricted funding to local nonprofits.
And this is more important than ever. Of course, we've had so many different cuts, at different levels. And so have you seen a bigger response to people who are looking for help and ways to help fund their nonprofits?
Well, nonprofit organizations are a huge part of our community, and they're always looking for resources and talent and business leaders to come alongside them and help them to make a much bigger impact. So I feel like since COVID, since the recent election, nonprofits are just always open to having people come alongside them and help them make a bigger impact.
And the impact goes far beyond just that initial award, because they're getting tools that will help them to apply for grants and also go into other streams of possible grants and different things like that through this experience, right?
Absolutely. At the Victory Cup, we say that we bring nonprofit organizations to the main stage in Central Florida so that people, foundations, businesses better understand what they do, how they do it, and how it makes an impact. And so what that does is it just expands their notoriety in the community. We teach them strategic storytelling skills. We provide a tremendous amount of exposure in the community. We also create a lot of programming throughout the year so that they're able to get to know other nonprofit leaders. They're able to network with each other and really build an ecosystem of collaboration. And then on the other side, we provide this incredible opportunity for funders to learn about the different causes and the different organizations, and not only the causes that they're working with, but how they're doing it in a strategic way. As we all know, we're having a mental health crisis right now. And we have two organizations this year that are actually working with people who are struggling with mental health, but the way they're doing it is so drastically different, but so incredibly important to the communities that they're serving. And so it's really a great opportunity for funders to just hear and decide, does this align with my personal values? Is this an organization or a cause that I want to support? Is this something that I want to learn more about?
And so how do you put this breakfast together, and who will be there? How did you narrow it down to those 10 nonprofits?
Well, Bridgett, that's probably our secret sauce, is that each August, September, we get about 100 applications. And we work strategically with the business community, and we invite entrepreneurs, funders, C-suite executives to come alongside us and review the applications. So they're actually reading all 100 applications. And this past year, we had 162 business leaders review the applications for us. We have a system that we use. It's an online program. And so they're actually selecting the top 10. So we like to say that Central Florida is picking these nonprofit leaders. And then from there, we train them in the art of storytelling, and we give them other, different types of training and educational programs. And then the breakfast comes together. This year it's at the Dr. Phil's Performing Arts Center. And we'll have about 550 business leaders, foundations, corporations to come hear the stories. We have a team of about 25 volunteers who help us put it on. And everyone in the room, after they hear the stories, they will vote who did the best job and who they think wins the top prizes. But everyone at the Victory Cup is a winner. Everyone walks away with a prize or a cash award, and the people in the audience, they walk away with this tremendous amount of pride, learning about and meeting these selfless, courageous business leaders who are on the front lines of serving our community. And it's a really exciting morning.
And so do they find out at the end of the breakfast, or is this something you find out a little bit later, how much you won?
Oh, Now, Bridget, we got to tell everybody right then on the spot. It takes about 5 minutes for us to tally all those votes. And you know what's also exciting is we have other prizes that they win. They win scholarships to programs like Leadership Winter Park, Life Work Leadership, business and professional coaching opportunities. So it's not just about the money, it's about the exposure, it's about the storytelling training, it's about the collaboration with the other nonprofit leaders. And we like to make everything we do super fun and super exciting. So everybody finds out in about 55 minutes who's going to win over $300,000 in prizes.
And it's Shark Tank style. So how long do they have to, take the stage and make their best pitch?
Well, Bridget, you know better than anyone that we all have a very short attention span. So nonprofit leaders are really taught to give a 5-minute TED Talk in 2.5 minutes. And so we're really looking to help them create sound bites and strategic conversation talking points. So when they potentially meet someone anywhere at any time, they're able to instantly connect someone to their mission and to the work that they do.
Awesome. Well, that's really exciting. So are we able to still attend this? Are there tickets available, or how can we connect and keep up with Victory Cup if we're interested in, either being a part of sponsoring or a nonprofit that's looking for some help?
Well, we always have room for people who are interested in helping the nonprofit community. That's really what the Victory Cup is all about, focusing on supporting nonprofit leaders. So we do have tickets. So go to our website, it's thevictorycupinitiative.org. I don't think we have sponsorships available this time, but we do have tickets. And if you could just follow us on social media, and if you could just personally, if you want to support nonprofit organizations in Central Florida, post about your own favorite nonprofit organization, talk to your company about doing a give back day, or getting some coworkers to volunteer. And if you're interested in volunteering with the Victory Cup, we really open that up around June and July. So that's really exciting.
That's awesome. And when will the window open up again to try to get a chance at being in this showcase for next time?
So for the Victory Cup breakfast, the applications will open in August or September of this upcoming year. So you want to go ahead and look into that. And we serve nonprofit organizations that are in Orange, Osceola, Seminole, and Brevard County. But we do have programming throughout the year for our 92 alumni, and we are hosting a conference this June to support nonprofit organizations. And so there's always opportunities to engage and get involved. So I guess the best thing is to just follow us on social media and then to be checking out our website.
Well, this is awesome. Well, congratulations on another successful year. Looking forward to seeing who comes out on top. Thank you, Ashley.
Thanks, Bridget.
All right, take care. Also this morning, we want to tell you about smart watches, because when it comes to monitoring your health, your sleep, your diet, we're finding out that these watches can really reveal a lot, but there might be one step that you're missing in terms of helping your doctor work with you on some of that data. So here's Michael George with more on smart watches and how to make sure that your doctor is in the loop.
When Sue Van Wassenhoef took a few falls at home, her children bought her a smartwatch to track her health.
I have some other health issues, but I have sleep apnea. And one of the things that's great is that this measures my heart rate and my breathing during the night. So I wear my watch 24/7.
So when the device flagged her heart rate was dropping several times at night, the 78-year-old made an appointment to see her cardiologist.
I got the alert with this great big exclamation point in yellow that I had gone below the danger zone, that I have it set. I told her that.
A new survey finds 2/3 of Americans use a device regularly to monitor heart health, with the smartwatch and portable blood pressure machine most popular. But just 1 in 4 share that data with their doctor, something Dr. Lakshmi Mehta with Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center says they should be doing.
These devices can give a lot of information. They're looking at their heart rate. If the heart rate is less than 50, that's going to be a cause of concern. Or if the heart rate is above 100 and you're sitting there relaxing, that's a concern as well.
While the technology is helpful, Dr. Mehta cautions it's not foolproof.
Heart rate and heart rhythm have been really tested and are much more validated, but there's other things like the oxygen level and temperature that data can vary a bit. Technologies are not to replace the visit with the physician.
Sue learned her smartwatch can capture an EKG, and the results can be sent to Dr. Mehta through her electronic medical chart.
That's just invaluable. It's a great way to participate in my health care.
And that gives her and her family peace of mind. Michael George, CBS News.
Well, Captain America is really doing well at the box office right now, and moviegoers at Disney Springs got a big surprise when the star of the film walked in, popcorn in hand there. Anthony Mackie made a surprise appearance. You can see everyone was just like elated and surprised at this screening of Captain America at Disney Springs. And this video was shared by Disney Parks Online, showing Mackie interacting there with the audience and thanking them for their support. Captain America Brave New World hit theaters Friday, and it soared to the top, earning $88.5 million. And by the end of the day, Disney says it should hit $100 million. But wow, what a fun surprise. Also this morning, you might want to head out to Eustis. They have the longest running celebration of George Washington's birthday happening there. And our Emily McLeod takes us there to learn more about George Fest.
What started off as a one-day event has now turned into a week of events to celebrate George Washington's birthday. But the George Fest in Eustis, it didn't always start out that way.
Well, actually, in the early 1900s, it was actually a celebration for the snowbirds and the visitors that would live down here for months.
City of Eustis Vice Mayor Gary Ashcraft says George Fest originally started as a way to thank tourists for visiting Eustis.
It was during that time that they had this big parade and a nice thank you for them spending, because Eustis actually early was big on tourism. And then over the years, it transitioned over to being a celebration around President's Day and then George Washington's birthday.
How have you noticed that the festival has changed and grown over the years?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, when it first started, it was only one day. Then it was 3.
Wow.
Then it was 4. Now we are at a week-long celebration.
Okay, so not only is George Fest a super fun event here in downtown Eustis, it's also great for small businesses like Magnolia Breeze.
It's nice because they do bring us business, and like people that don't usually come to Eustis, they can see what we have and they usually end up coming back.
George Fest kicked off on Saturday and runs through Saturday, February 22nd. To see a full list of events for the week, you can head to clickorlando.com. In Eustis, Emily McLeod, Getting Results, News 6.
Very charming there. Well, if you'd like to take a closer look at these stories, head over to clickorlando.com. We'll be back at noon with more live news and weather. Have a great day.